Frank, the other one is,
Yeah.
the one with the lake.
Oh, yeah,
That's why it's so
Brittany.
early.
Yep.
Those are all in Bob's this area.
Let me know when we're ready,
Yeah.
chief.
Oh, yeah.
The one that I have in my area was Marlin Meadows, and they refused. They're still running their own.
They're still doing it. He still, I think he reaches out, and they're still okay so far.
Every time I go to one of their homeowners meetings, they talk about it.
Well,
They know
that's
they're on their own time. and-
everyone.
All
is,
right.
yeah.
I would like to call to order the Public Works and Safety Committee meeting for March 11th at 5 o'clock. If you would all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All righty. Roll call. We have Alderman Borgman.
Here.
Alderman Engelhardt.
Here.
Scott Kruger.
Here.
And Wendy. I know you're here taking notes. And myself, Eileen Madden. Statement of public notice. This meeting was noted accordance to the Wisconsin meeting laws. Approval of the minutes for February 18th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Status of projects.
Sure.
You go.
Sounds good. Waukesha Water. So currently what we are doing is we are reviewing a portion of proposed fiber optic that they propose to relocate. What's happened is there's a small little portion of where they want to put the water main, and this is the city of Waukesha, and they asked us, they're going to pay, I believe it's an AT&T fiber optic line, and they're going to relocate it, and they're asking us to look at it to make sure it's not going in a place where we have something else planned for it. That's the first immediate thing, and why we're doing that immediately is they're planning on paying for that fiber to be moved this summer. So that's why it is. So that's the first part of that we're doing. In April, 90% plans are still planned to give us so that we will review the water main that goes through Muskego. They still are planning on having public information meetings being held in May of 2019, and that's the Greater Water Alliance. That's not us, it's them. They'll post it on their websites, and once I get it, I can post it through our website as well. And then once we start reviewing the 90% plans, we will also be working on an IGA, or intergovernmental agreement, between us and the city of Waukesha for it. It's just standard operating procedures. So.
Okey-doke. Any questions? Righty.
All right, Bay Lane. So Bay Lane, last week, a letter was sent out, and it's also posted to the website. It's basically telling the residents, be prepared that this summer you're going to have some type of construction work coming. Right now, once we choose a contractor, we will then send out, we will have a detailed kind of plan of when work is going to start coming through that project. But we are already warning them that it's coming. The bulk of the work will be between May and September of this year. We also have worked with the school district. We asked them not to do a busing program to their summer school there, to look for other options just to help us out and alleviate it and not have as much work there. There's still going to be baseball games, so we'll have to work around the baseball games as well. We did receive bids for the water main portion of the project. We're still analyzing the bids right now, but before we move forward with the contractor, but they did come in very favorable to the city of Muskego, which is good. Nice. Then April 4th, 2019, the plan is to open up the bids for the construction contractor for the main roadway project. So that's kind of just setting the time frame of everything. I have been answering a couple questions. Since the letter went out, it's caused some residents to ask me more questions, and I have been answering them as they come up. So.
Okay. Anybody, any questions? No? Hillendale.
Hillendale, again, it's just moving forward with no trail and just a new speed limit. I'm getting the next time meeting. I should hopefully have an update when the next set of plans will be out, and then planning for the next public information meeting. Sometime probably in the summer would be nice to have another meeting just to discuss and show the new set of plans, and actually one set of plans with the kind of hybrid look of a rural and urban kind of setting, with no trail on the side. So we can focus on one set, and there'll be more talk about storm sewer and drainage and ditches, and that'll be the next kind of big topic, so.
Is there much at this point changing elevations at all on the street, or is it?
I
all
haven't,
the
I
same?
haven't talked to him that much, but it should be, you know, that'll be like a now, whatever you saw though was different in the first plan because our speed limit was 35. Now that our speed limit is 30, we can kind of like go with that design. So there'll be some adjustments based off of that, so.
There may be some altering of some of the high points and low points.
Correct. That's
Okay.
usually the case is when you redo a road, you alter those, but at the same time, you can't alter them too much because we want to make sure the drainage works.
And is the finished pavement going to be approximately the same width as we have now, or is it?
Yes, it's, we don't plan very minor, maybe around the intersections just to make sure they can do but we don't plan to add any lanes at all.
And will
Or
that-
any right turn lanes or any left turn lanes. It's just kind of see, what you see there is what you're going to get for the pavement.
And where there is no curb, that's going to be just millings and that kind of thing on the edges?
It'll just be gravel and then ditch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what do we normally make that off the pavement?
Sometimes they do a gravel 1.5, feet, and then the ditch area will vary from place to place. It all depends on how much right of way we have for each house.
I just want to be prepared to answer questions if I can.
Oh, yeah. You know what, before we even do a public information meeting, we'll have the plans ahead of time, and since it is your district, come on in, and we can have a nice little, like, I'll give you a nice scenario, and we can look through the plans and all these questions, so.
Get your update.
Thank you.
Okay. Unfinished business, I see we've got deferred the water main assets. So we'll go down to new business. GERS CSM sanitary sewer waiver.
Yep. Okay, so Mr. Gurr is here. Mr. Gurr is doing a land division with CSM for, I believe, is it for planning for, estate planning. And one of the rules that is if you have sanitary sewer rather close to your property, as when you do a division, you must extend sanitary sewer to the furthest part of the property. If you look at the CSM and all the information, it's just located in Kelsey Drive, just to the west of his property. So, since he's just doing this for basically for as he said, for estate planning, what we have decided to do is waive him on this, but the CSM is going to have heavy notes on this, and what it's going to happen is this. If they plan to build anything in there, it'll note it on the CSM, you must extend sanitary sewer all the way through to the area. If he sells it to someone who plans to build or develop on it, they'll have the same rule where you'll have to extend the sanitary sewer to the edge of the development. If the property to the east, for example, develops that area, and in that case, we would extend that, and he decides to develop that area, well, the sanitary sewer will go past Mr. Gurr's property. He will pay for his portion that goes for it, and then the rest will go to that development. But this will all be on the CSM. There'll be plenty of language to do it, and we feel as staff, looking at everything, that we're okay as long as of recommending this waiver with all these things on the CSM, which is a legal document, so whoever looks at it will be well aware of what the situation is. This also does not provide, this is kind of a request made by Mr. Gurr. Again, I said, we're happy to make this request, but it's up to the committee to decide on whether to do it. Do you have anything to add? Okay. So,
How much total frontage is on this?
it looks like it's
There's
1,340.23 feet.
That's the total?
Yeah, total of the two.
Okay, is this proposing to divide up, make lot divisions already, or is that a future thing yet?
It's just to make lot 1 and lot 2. There's only two.
Two
One
lots.
Will be 446.74, and one is 893.5. 49. We have not moved forward with this until this needs to be answered first, and then we can kind of continue forward with the
So
CSM.
in the future, if either lot was to build, regardless of whether he owns it or a future owner, they are then responsible for this whole thing then?
Correct.
Okay. And that's going to be spelled out and understood.
Yes.
Is this consistent with things we've done before? Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I don't know. Have we ever done that before?
I thought I talked to one of from my understanding, Adam and Scott both have told me, I didn't know particularly where that is, but they both said that this is something that we have done before.
Okay. So then this is going to stay in your family, or?
Yeah, the reason I'm actually doing it, I own with my brother. We're gonna split some of the parcels off. Like, he owns the 40 and I own the 40, we're kind of splitting this one off and some other things. So we're just reselling it instead of owning two brothers, this could be partially his and partially mine. Each have their own.
And just be aware,
That's the reason.
there is sanitary that's in Kelsey Drive, and it's just located to the west of Lot 1. So it always says, is it a reasonable distance away? And yes, we all feel that it's a reasonable distance away. So
Now, does that have to go beyond this to the east? in the
it
future?
goes to if you look at the official words, it says extended along to like the farthest edge of the property. That's how the ordinance is written, just, it's kind of generic. In our mind, you would just take the sanitary sewer straight down Kelsey Drive, the force main, and kind of end it at the, east side of the property right there. But again, nothing's proposed yet. It was more, this all kicks in. As soon as Mr. Gerd plans to develop it, if someone purchases it, it's going to be all over this we are going to make this CSM loaded with all these documents, 7 pages long, that whoever purchases, if someone purchases it, if Mr. Gerd, that's how we protect it, and that's a legal document.
Okay. Then another question occurs, if the adjacent property
To the east.
to the east was to develop first.
If it first develops, we'll put the language on there too, that it will be, in our mind, it has been reasonable for him to pay for it. That developer might have to pay for the whole thing all the way through, and Mr. Gerd will have to pay for his portion on his $1,340 or 40.23 feet.
So whether his lots were developed or not, he would be responsible
Correct.
if someone else wanted to develop.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. We'll put that all in the language, and that's only fair.
And that's going to remain a force main?
All those along there are sanitary sewer force mains. In my opinion, that's probably why it's because there's not gravity. So we're all doing a sanitary sewer force main. There's no gravity possible in that area. So, and we're tending to go to that more and more. We're in a low area. We're going to sanitary sewer force mains. The new developments, for example, Edgewater, Waters of Noon, they all have grinder pumps in their houses, and their sanitary sewer force laterals into the sanitary sewer force main. We don't have gravity here. It's unless there's high places, that's what we're kind of going to. So, it seems to be the trend. Hillendale had the same thing. Yeah, so.
Okay.
I'd be willing to make that, accept the proposal here.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes. All right, anything anybody want to place on file for the next meeting, or? Nothing? Okay, I have no other communication, so I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 5:15.
Good night.
It worked out.